Hey everyone, welcome back to Gaming with Amy. Thanks for being here. I've covered a lot of games and other types of media on this channel over the course of its existence, yet I've only done one review thus far. I decided that it's time to change that. Also, it gives me an excuse to dig into my backlog of games I've picked up on sale. As you can tell from the title, I'll be reviewing the 2019 game Jenny LeClue Detectivu. Obviously, it's quite an old game at this point, but I'd like to share my thoughts and experience with the game for my viewers who have heard of it but aren't sure if they'd like to play it. Before we dive into the review, please like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more cozy gaming content from yours truly. Let's start with the premise. Jenny LeClue is a story within a story of sorts. We begin at the desk of writer Arthur K. Finkelstein, the author of the highly successful series of Jenny LeClue books, which follows a highly intelligent, inquisitive, and snarky girl detective. This is all fine and well, except Arthur's publisher says the books aren't selling anymore, and he's going to need to do something drastic with his latest novel, or they'll cancel the series. And by drastic, they mean he'll have to include a murder in the next book. Jenny LeClue is wholesome, so this goes against everything Arthur knows and loves about his series. Despite this, Arthur decides to carry on with the suggested darker theme, and you, the player, are immersed in the latest installation of Jenny LeClue. We learn that Jenny lives in the town of Arthurton, following in the footsteps of her mother, a former CSI crime scene turned professor at Gumboldt College. Jenny takes every opportunity to investigate, whether that's interrogating Dean Strasberry, also a family friend, or CJ, Arthurton's very own conspiracy theorist. And funnily enough, CJ may be onto something. And I found myself going down some interesting internet rabbit holes lately, so if I start sounding like a conspiracy nut, you know who to blame. Jenny's first major investigation is figuring out why her mom and Dean Strasberry are being cagey about meeting at the college library. Ultimately, this discovery sends Jenny down a rabbit hole, digging deeper into Arthurton's darkest secrets, some of which finally answer the mysteries of her own life. Gameplay. Primarily a story-driven game, Jenny LeClue is very light on side-scrolling platformer mechanics. You mostly walk and run with some climbing and jumping thrown in, both of which aren't difficult. You're not going to plunge to your death from making a wrong move, which makes this game good for someone who doesn't like difficult platforming, aka me. There's quite a bit of puzzling, which for the most part is relatively easy, although I did find myself looking up how to solve specific puzzles. A lot of puzzles are repeated throughout the game, so if you get the hang of it the first time, you'll know what to expect down the line. There's also a fun element in which you magnify items that are hidden or tucked away. And just to let you know, Jenny LeClue is best played with a controller. For some reason, the way the buttons in the game corresponded to my controller were backwards, which is something you can fix in the settings, but I just got used to it after a while. Story. It's obvious how much effort the devs put into the story. While doing some research for this video, I learned Jenny LeClue was crowdfunded on Kickstarter, which signals to me that this was a labor of love. From the captivating action scenes, to the witty dialogue, to the commentary on workers' safety and rights, Jenny LeClue is probably one of the best written games I've ever played, in the same sense as a game like Night in the Woods. I enjoyed how the story is framed. An author that's on a downwards trajectory, essentially writing as if his life depends on it. These scenes are thoughtfully mixed in with the main Jenny LeClue storyline, keeping you on your toes. I honestly couldn't wait to pick the game back up in between sessions. Also, Jenny LeClue is kind of spooky. Early on during my playthrough, I thought that this might be good for a younger audience. Unless your kid is as mature as Jenny, I think you might want to play this by yourself and then let them discover it at an older age. Some of the topics are quite heavy as well. It kind of threw me off. I expected a cute Nancy Drew-like mystery game, but what I got was something with much more depth, and it was a welcome surprise. Art style and music. It's no surprise that the greatest amount of detail was put into the artwork and music in Jenny LeClue as well. The game is hand-drawn and almost has a retro-type feel. Think bright mid-century modern meets the Jetsons. The music is great too. It matches the tone of what you're doing in the game. For example, if Jenny's exploring a dark cave, the music gets mysterious sounding. There's also a cheery tone that plays when you solve a puzzle. It's clear that every aspect of the Jenny LeClue gaming experience was intentional. voiceover. For my last point, I'd like to quickly touch on the excellent cast of voice actors in Jenny LeClue. While everything I've previously mentioned obviously brings a whole lot to this game, the voice acting takes it to another level. Sure, the game would still be fun and engaging without it, but I don't necessarily think it would be the same sans voiceover, if that makes sense. The talented cast brings more depth to these characters, and I think it helps you understand the tone the writing is going for. When Jenny makes a sarcastic joke because she's annoyed with her friend Susie, you can almost feel her irritation. So let's just say I'm glad the devs had the budget to work in voice actors. Rating. Overall, I'd give Jenny LeClue Detectivu 5 out of 5 magnifying glasses. While there are tiny things I didn't love about the game, those pale in comparison to the overall gameplay experience. So if you've had Jenny LeClue on your wish list for a while, I highly recommend picking it up. It's Gaming with Amy approved. I had such a blast playing Jenny LeClue, and I'd love to know your experience if you've played the game yourself. Share your thoughts, likes, and gripes down in the comments. Alright, detectives, keep your eyes open. Sometimes the real clues are hiding in plain sight. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.